There are indeed common myths surrounding international marriages. One common myth is that international marriages are primarily driven by economic reasons, such as seeking a wealthier partner. Another myth is that these marriages are less stable and more prone to divorce, which isn't necessarily true. What do you think? International marriages have become more common in recent decades, especially with globalization and increased mobility. Raising children in international marriage families can come with unique challenges. These can include navigating different cultural expectations, language barriers, and potential identity conflicts for the children. In today's video, I will tell you a story about a family law case that revolves around international marriages, international relocation of a child, and parenting rights when the parents go in their separate ways. This is the story of the Banks and Banks case, which highlights the complexities of family law and the importance of protecting the best interests of the child. In this case, two different courts had two different views. You can find additional details of this legal case in the description below. Welcome back to my channel. I'm the Storytellawyer. I'm a lawyer and storyteller. The purpose of sharing real-life legal cases is to show that law is both fun and essential for everyone. Please hit the subscribe button for more legal stories and updates. The content in this video is meant for educational and entertainment purposes and not intended to provide legal advice of any kind. Storytellawyer will not be liable for actions taken based on the content. Mr. Banks, an Australian, and Miss Banks, a Thai national, met in Sydney and got married. Their 5-year-old son holds both Australian and Thai citizenship. One day, the happy family travelled to Thailand to visit Miss Banks's family. However, when Mr. Banks returned to Australia, Miss Banks and the child stayed in Thailand. The child continued to live with his maternal family in Thailand and started his education there while both parents lived in Australia. Family law issues started when things went south. When Mr. and Miss Banks had separated, the separation led to disagreements about the child's living arrangements and parental responsibilities. The primary issue was the disagreement over where the child should live: Australia or Thailand. Since both parents resided in Australia, Mr. Banks wanted the child to live in Australia with the mother, while the mother preferred the child to remain in Thailand with her family. The mother wanted her son to live with his maternal grandmother in Thailand. Mr. Banks and Miss Banks were unable to reach an agreement on their own, leading to the need for court intervention to determine the best course of action for the child's welfare and parenting rights. During the court proceedings, the mother argued that her son should remain in Thailand with her family or the child's grandmother, as her son had special needs that were being addressed there. The mother believed her son was well settled in Thailand and receiving the necessary care. On the other hand, Mr. Banks argued that his son should be brought to Australia to live with the child's mother, so he could spend regular time with the child and maintain a meaningful father-son relationship. The primary judge considered all relevant factors, evidence presented, and circumstances. The primary judge ordered that the child be brought to Australia to live with Miss Banks based on several key considerations. 1. Best interests of the child. The judge determined that it was in the best interests of the child to have a meaningful relationship with both parents. The judge emphasized the importance of the child spending regular time with the father, which would be more feasible if the child lived in Australia with the mother. 2. Procedural fairness. The judge aimed to ensure procedural fairness by making an order that neither party had specifically sought. This was intended to balance the interests of both parents and the child. 3. Child's special needs. The child had been diagnosed with autistic spectrum disorder, requiring behavior modification and speech therapy. The judge considered that these needs could be better addressed in Australia if the child lived in Australia, where both parents could be more involved in his care. The judge determined an equally shared parental responsibility, which triggered the requirement to consider making orders for equal time or substantial and significant time with each parent. This influenced the decision to have the child live with the mother in Australia to facilitate regular contact with the father. The judge also issued an injunction order restraining Miss Banks from leaving Australia. By restraining Miss Banks from leaving Australia, The court aimed to maintain its ability to make and enforce decisions regarding the child's best interests, and to ensure that both parents could participate in the legal process. The order of the primary judge was challenged. The matter was appealed to the appeals court, the full court of the Family Court of Australia. Was the appeal successful? Yes, the appeal was allowed. The appeals court found that the mother was denied procedural fairness because she was not given notice of the judge's intention to make such an order. Procedural fairness is a fundamental principle in legal proceedings, ensuring that all parties have a fair opportunity to present their case and respond to any decisions that may affect them. The absence of notice and opportunity to respond resulted in the mother not receiving a fair hearing. The appeals court discharged the injunction order imposed by the primary judge, who restrained the mother from leaving Australia. The appeals court had a different approach to child welfare. The appeals court determined that it was in the child's best interest to remain in Thailand pending the final trial. The difference between the two courts was based on several key legal considerations. First, the best interests of the child. The appeals court emphasized that the child's best interests were paramount. The child had been living in Thailand with his grandmother and was well settled there. Contrary to the primary judge's reasoning, the appeals court considered that uprooting the child from this stable environment and moving him to Australia could be disruptive and not in his best interests. Second, the child's special needs. The child had been diagnosed with autistic spectrum disorder, requiring behavior modification and speech therapy. Contrary to the primary judge's reasoning, the appeals court noted that the child's special needs were being addressed in Thailand, and it was important to maintain continuity in his care and education. Third, parental responsibility and contact. The appeals court acknowledged the importance of the child having a meaningful relationship with both parents. However, contrary to the primary judge's reasoning, the appeals court found that a meaningful relationship with both parents could be facilitated through regular contact and communication, even if the child remained in Thailand. The court ordered that the father spend time with the child in Thailand and communicate via Skype. Finally, practical considerations. The appeals court considered the practical difficulties of the father traveling to Thailand regularly. However, the court noted that he had previously lived in Thailand and had expressed a desire to take up residence there. The court found that it was feasible for the father to visit Thailand and maintain contact with the child from time to time. So, as we wrap up this story, it's clear that the intricacies of family law are complex. We've explored different courts' perspectives, and either way, it's evident that the welfare of the child remains paramount. As a lawyer, personally, I found this case quite complicated and difficult. I believe the courts faced similar challenges with their decision. Let me ask you questions about child welfare and parenting rights. Did you realize how two different courts have different interpretations to the circumstances and child's welfare? The primary judge ordered that the child should live in Australia, emphasizing the importance of the child's relationship with both parents. However, the appeals court determined it was in the child's best interest to remain in Thailand. Which decision better serves the child's welfare and rights? Who made a better decision, the primary judge or the appeals court? Leave your comments below. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, don't forget to subscribe for more insightful stories on legal cases.